Hi, this is Terry Bach, and welcome to the Untapped Potential for Women Over 50 mini summit. For women over the age of 50, it's often a time of awakening, coming out of a fog for some people, realizing that it's your time now. You've been so busy up until now, taking care of your family, taking care of your business, taking care of your job if you have one, but you haven't necessarily been taking care of you. And so some of you may be thinking back to a time when you once had a dream, but you've kind of let it go and it hasn't happened. Or maybe you don't know what you want the next part of your life to look like yet. So I've brought together some amazing experts on the topic of women over 50 and redesigning their own lives on their terms. And each of our experts are going to be talking about this topic from their perspective and their unique point of view. And today I've invited Susan Wheeler as our expert. Susan is a world-class overcomer. I love that term. She didn't have the means to attend college, so instead, she became a lifelong entrepreneur who went on to build an 8-figure sales organization with her online nutrition company. At age 34, a debilitating accident shattered her pelvis and broke her back. Yet Susan bounced back. I want to hear more about this, and became a competitive runner in marathons, half marathons, and ultra marathons. I'm going to have to ask you about that too, in her early 40s. So Susan is most passionate about inspiring people to slay their excuses and reach their full potential. She's a certified mindset coach and speaker, reminding people that it's never too late to change your life. Welcome, Susan.
Oh, thank you, Terry. Thank you for inviting me to be here.
You're very welcome. I'm excited to talk with you about what you're doing. And what is an ultra marathon? Is that less than a half marathon?
An ultra marathon is more than a marathon.
Oh,
So my
okay.
longest distance was 38 miles.
Oh my gosh.
hmm
Wow, that's incredible, especially having shattered your pelvis and broken your back. That's
Exactly.
amazing. Because,
Well, I had never
yeah,
been a runner before that act, so it wasn't
okay,
like I was a runner and then I was injured
right.
and then came back.
Yeah,
Running was sort of my, you know, my uh, digging in my heels and saying, "You can't stop me," right?
wow. That's incredible. I mean, I keep saying that, but I'm just kind of blown away by that. I'm not sure in my 40s I could have started running marathons and all of that, much less after having all of that, that accident and all that. Um, so
What it boiled down to, though, was that's why I'm so passionate about what I do, because I really
right.
do believe that it's just our mindset.
It really is. It really is. Yeah. So I know that you have an online nutrition company. So I'm guessing you have a background. Do you have a background in health and wellness then?
So let me give you just a little bit of my
Sure.
background. So I was young when my dad died, and I was in high school actually. So I never
Okay.
was able to go on to college, but
Mm,
I was interested in so many things. And then I got to a point where when I was a mom with kids at home, it wasn't a matter of money at that point. It was a matter of time and commitment. And did I really
sure.
want to do that? So a lot of what I studied was on my own. And a fun fact, we own an organic vegetable farm in Connecticut.
Ah,
So I was very passionate about nutrition for health. I'd
yeah.
lost a very close friend to cancer,
Mm,
and I wanted to do something to sort of um, honor her memory.
Right, right.
And that's how I got really involved. And so I studied nutrition for years on my own. I had some health
Mm,
issues and really, so I took nothing official, but a lot of courses, local courses, did a lot of reading, did a lot of kind of online stuff.
right.
And then I got involved with this nutrition company, which
Okay.
aligned with everything that I believed. So
Right, exactly. Wow. And then your own health issues, of course, kind of spurred some of that on too.
absolutely, because I wasn't just learning it, I was actually implementing it into my life, so I was sort of my own little guinea pig.
Right. It's the best way to do it. Yeah, good. So I know that you have a book, and I love the title, The Lemonade Diet. So
Yes.
tell us more about your book and how did you come up with that title?
Well, everyone that knows me knows that I'm totally into nutrition, and the mindset part of it, I was actually talking with a gal today that said, "Oh, I tried the lemonade diet once, I only lasted for 3 hours." I said, "No, no." Please don't be talking about my book. But
Right.
she thought it was she thought it
Right.
was a diet.
Yes.
And the reason I titled it that was because I I believe, like I said before, mindset is everything. And we're so good at if we sort of have a health issue, and I help a lot of people with sugar addictions or that have high sugar and might need to go on medication, etc. We
Okay.
know to change our diet food
Mhm.
wise, right?
Right.
But we don't realize that what goes in up here plays an even greater role
Yes.
in everything we do. So the book, The Lemonade Diet, the title might be a little misleading, but it's how to persist, persevere, and make lemonade when life hands you lemons. So if you read the subtitle, you know what the book is
Yes.
about. But it's basically the stories of the things in my life that I've overcome
Right.
and taken them and moved on and done other things that are
Yes.
bigger and brighter. So it's not just getting to ground zero. I think we're here to sort of help other people and be a leader
Mhm.
in certain areas.
Right. Now, I know that, and you've alluded to this a little bit, but you've had a lot of lemons. I mean, that were handed to you in,
Enough to write a book.
yes, I have to write a book and make lemonade out of them. But is there a particular lesson that you learned? You've mentioned mindset and how important that is. Is there anything else that you learned from the things that you've had to go through?
All kinds of stuff. One thing I will share. So I lost my dad when I was 16,
Mm.
and that was the first loss of my life, right? My dad was only 49, and it was unexpected. He had a
Wow.
massive heart attack in our home. And I remember the year before that, one of the girls that I went to high school with, and we weren't friends, but it was a big school. I knew who she was. We just
Oh,
weren't
sure.
close friends.
Right.
And her dad died the summer before, and he
Oh,
was a little bit
gosh.
older. He was probably, he might have been closer to 60 or something. But I
Okay.
remember thinking, wow, that would never happen to me. Like that only happens to
Yeah.
other people. And for that whole year, I remember seeing her in the school, like sort of, still going to class and still
Mhm.
doing all those things. And I and it was something I kind of didn't want to talk,
Sure.
I was young. I didn't understand really death or anything. So the next year, when my dad died, it was literally a week before my senior year of high school.
Mm.
And we were told, my brother and sister and I, that we didn't have to go back to school right away. We could, take the time we needed. I remembered that Julie just jumped back. She went to school. And I'm not saying might not have been hard for her or whatever, but I remember seeing her there every day. I remember her
Yeah.
in the hallways. I remember her in lunch and carrying her books down the hall. And I thought, well, this is what I need to do. And so it's there's more lessons that I didn't write about that in the book, but I was doing a podcast a few weeks ago and we were talking about it. And the point is that, when life hands you lemons, people look at you. If you're in, whether or not you're a leader, I'm a mom, right?
Right,
So
right.
I have to show up for my kids every day. I mean, they're all older now, but I'm so proud of the things that they've accomplished because they've seen me fall, but they
Yes,
saw me get back up again.
exactly. Yeah.
And I think that that is what I'm really trying to do in my book. I became a runner because of, my accident, because I had a friend with cancer. I almost drowned. I learned to, face fear and not just panic and let the uh, riptide take me under. All these things I've been able to use in my life. And
Mhm,
I think when you see someone, I don't want to say fighting back, but standing up and, getting
mhm.
knocked down, but not giving up. So when Julie did that in school and I saw
Right,
that, she did not know what she did for me. And being
exactly.
in school as a 16, 17-year-old girl was where I needed to be, not at home
Mhm, mhm.
by myself, crying or being depressed. It was getting back into the swing of things. So I
One
think
of
it's important to share.
Yes, and one of the things I'm hearing is that not only did you just make it through these things, but you like plowed through and went way beyond. Like when your dad died, a lot of people would have given up. But when you had your debilitating accident, a lot of people would have given up. But you went even further than just getting through it. You ran marathons and you really went way beyond just getting through it. And I think that really does say a lot about mindset, certainly says a lot about who you are, but the importance of mindset and that you can do so much more when you have that right or that positive mindset.
You have to, and it's not perfect, and sometimes
No.
it's not pretty,
Right.
but
Yeah.
it's not.
Exactly.
It's not. But it is so powerful that what we're capable of doing. And when you can do something like that. So when I run a marathon,
Hmm.
someone will say to me, well, how long is this marathon? Well, they're all the same. They're 26.2 miles. But most people don't know that, which is fine. So my point is, whether you run a marathon in 2.5 hours or 4.5 hours, you've
Hmm.
still covered 26.2 miles on your feet.
Right.
And nobody would, if I told someone I ran a marathon in 12 hours, they'd be blown away. They would think
Right.
that's amazing so I think we get caught up in the competitiveness of things,
Right.
and that's not the point. The point
No,
is we're all in our own journey, and however we manage to do something, that's all that really matters. It's going to be
exactly.
different for everyone.
It
Mhm.
is. And there's no time limit or anything perfectionistic about it. Yeah. It's doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Good. What are you most passionate about when you're working with your clients? What brings you the most passion and excitement?
I actually get excited just hearing you ask me that question.
Oh, well, good. I'm glad I asked you.
I love it. I love it. So what I am most excited about, and I tell people this all the time, it's never too late to change your life. And that's why when we connected on this platform, it was just music to my ears because I think people, men, women, everyone, we
Right.
get stuck in that maybe we've worked hard to reach a certain point. Maybe we've been through school and we have a degree, and now this is what we do. And maybe it doesn't make us jump out of bed anymore, but we think, gosh,
Exactly.
I've invested all this time. And not that I'm telling people to run out and get divorced, but it so sad when I see people that are with
Yeah,
someone and they're ticking off the next anniversary, but behind closed doors, they can't stand each other. And
exactly. Or they don't have much in common anymore.
anymore, right? Which is not
Right.
unusual because
Yeah.
we're
We
growing and
grow in
changing.
different ways. Yeah.
We do. And, even all the cells in our body are new. How could we possibly be the same when we meet when we're 20 and then, we're together when we're 60? And some people do it. And I love that. But I'm talking about like every single thing that we do. And so for me, I'm an ultra marathon runner. I always will be. However, what I have realized is that running is really a struggle on my knee right now. So
Mm,
I have been hiking and I have these
okay.
huge lofty goals. Like I've been hiking the Appalachian Trail. I hiked
Wow.
3 states this year. So it's never too late to change your life. So
Exactly.
I'm not going to sit home and say, well, I can't run because of my knee. I'm going to
Right.
figure out another way to
Yeah.
explore the world, right?
Exactly. Okay.
So I love to help people explore what it is. I think people shut their own doors and
Mm-hmm.
they refuse to see there's another way around it. And I like to use this analogy when and this happened to me a few years ago. I was going to the gym, and of course, I have a certain amount of time planned. And there was a tree down in the road. So
Mm.
I had to go way out of my way and around. But I got to the gym but it created something different for the whole trip, right? I had to change my workout. I
Right.
went down a road I had never been down before. And I had to think. I didn't drive there mindlessly.
Right. Right.
So I think change is a good thing. You can find, it's not the same, but it's still
Right.
great.
Right. Why do you think you have all this passion about it?
I, as I so I started my life I had a baby when I was 18.
Okay.
So I've been a mommy for many years. I have
Right.
4 children. I have 7 grandchildren.
Wow.
And I'm finally, so when you talk about 50s, like that to me was Independence Day. When I would get to my
Right.
50s, most people are
Right.
like dreading, and I'm going, oh. And so my goal, looking forward was
Mm-hmm.
for the first time in my life, and I do mean this, I am going to be able to do what I want, when I
Right.
want, go where I want. And I knew that I wanted to be healthy because if
Yes.
I wasn't physically, mentally and all that able to go places and do things, I would reach my 50s and,
Right.
sit
Yeah.
around.
And yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah. That was kind of a really important thing for me is
Mm-hmm.
that I wanted to be able to do what I wanted to do. And I've done so many things, and I wrote my book finally that I've been talking about for years. So
Right.
I'm loving being where I am right
Oh,
now.
yeah,
Some people might
exactly.
dread it, but I don't.
Well, and that's sad to me when I see people over 50 or, even in their 40s where they're starting to just, like settle
Settle in.
too
Yeah.
late. It's, I'm too old. It's too late. And that kind of stuff. It really makes me sad because, gosh, you still have 20, 30, 40, if you're in your 40s, years left to do
Yeah.
stuff, to be excited about life.
Mhm. And
Passion.
I learned one of the things I learned, and I like to say, if you're not growing, you're dying.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's important to keep growing and trying new things, and it's got to be appropriate. I wouldn't necessarily coach with someone in their 50s and tell them that they should start running because running does take a toll on your body. But I
Yeah.
would encourage them to move. I would encourage them to
Yes.
adventure. I would encourage them to do something.
Yes.
that would be appropriate, and try new things. And my career in my nutrition business, I didn't start until I was 50.
Okay.
I didn't even start that.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
there's
A
always
lot of hope
time.
out there for people over
Yes.
50. Yes.
Yes,
Wow, that's great. Susan, I know that you have a free gift for the audience.
I
Would you
do.
tell us about it?
Well, you can go to my website and get it for free, download it, and
Okay.
it's 12 tips to make lemonade. So it's sort of like the
And not the kind you
answer.
drink.
No, not the kind you drink. They're 12 mindset tips, and they're my favorite tips. So there, I wrote about them in my book, and I
Okay.
put this together as a freebie for all my guests. So yeah, you could just,
Wonderful.
and you're going
Okay.
to put a link in, so I don't need
And
to
yes,
mention
and
it.
for the listeners here, the link is right below, or the button is right below this video. So you just click on that and that will take you right to Susan's free gift. So Susan,
Awesome.
thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I love your enthusiasm and your passion for everything. Um, and I want to thank the listeners too for participating in the Untapped Potential for Women Over 50 mini summit. And be sure you stay tuned for tomorrow's interview, where another expert, I won't say who, will be sharing her unique point of view about redesigning and living life on your terms. So until tomorrow, thanks for being here.